Playoffs start Monday against Toronto, obviously division rivals, so you see them plenty times during the year, familiar foe. What kind of stands out to you about what kind of challenge they pose?
It's going to be a challenge for us all around. 1 through 5, even on the bench, they're all coming out ready to play. They all have a high skill set level, and their transition and defense, those are 2 keys that we need to key in on.
Greg?
Jarrett, they obviously have a pretty good pair in the front court with Gasol and Siakam. So can you just discuss how formidable those two are in an offense where they're able to spread the ball around pretty well? And what is the job that you and Rhodey face?
It's going to be a tough job for us, especially now they can space the floor and give it to Gasol. He's a great passer from the high post or the high area. So really it's going to be tough for us because usually I'm able to drop back and help on the drives. Van Fleet, Siakam, great drivers. I'm usually able to be back to protect the rim. But now I have to worry about Gasol and Ibaka shooting their shot.
Alex?
Hey, Jarrett. Going back to March and then in the summer when you guys first had the 4 positive cases in March and then, Torian, Spencer, DeAndre later on in June, did the news hit you differently the second time around, given what you had learned about the virus and the pandemic, or did it hit the same kind of when you got the news both times?
What do you mean when it hit?
When you found out about it, the first and second time, I guess, did you process the news differently the second time? The first time when you guys had the positive test, it was still very new and whatnot in the country and the world when we were learning about it?
I was shocked. It's kind of weird to see things happen inside your own life. It's with everything you hear about, just like car accidents, you never expect to see your family or be in one. And it's like, oh man, some of my teammates have coronavirus. So that really hit hard. And then the second time around, I'm still worried about their health. And then it's too close to the time to go into the bubble, will they be able to play? But at the same time, just want them to be healthy, want them and their families to stay healthy.
Cassidy in person?
First question is about Caris LeVert. Obviously, after the game against the Blazers, James said, man, that guy's cold. You've been playing with him for a long time. How would you describe his personality and will to be great?
Right. His will to be great. It's amazing just seeing his work ethic, him coming to the gym every day, him never backing down from a challenge, him taking everything head on, going into the game. With Dame, he could have been timid, but like all games, he went out there and played his hardest.
And as someone who's been on the team, all year, obviously, and having to be with a bunch of new people here, what is the camaraderie? Who's been leading this team as far as bringing you guys all together during this bubble time?
I would give, it's tough to give anybody a lot of credit. We've all had to do our parts to bring everybody together. JV's did a great job of, giving us the base, the building blocks of what we should be as a team. And it's really a heads up to all of us for building on that. Well,
Chow in person?
For a while, and the playoffs started this year.
Right.
How do you think the team chemistry has benefited from everybody's being here in the bubble?
I think it's benefited well. When we're not in the bubble, you go home, you're not seeing your teammates. Here, you go home and you're with your teammates. You're literally living. It's like a dorm room, with your teammates. You're by them, next to them, going to the pool with them, going out to dinner with them, and you're just close to them. You have no other choice, so you have to get to know each other and like each other.
Christian?
Hey, Jarrett, it's Christian. I got 2 for you here. One, Portland and Memphis, really, really good game here down to the wire. Do you think that the play-in format is something that the league should adopt going forward? Or do you think that's unfair to the 8th seed if they just finish with a better record than the 9th seed? And second, in terms of there being no fans in the arena, what's just the biggest difference from a communication standpoint? Some guys have said referees can hear them a little more clearly, and that's why people are getting more technical fouls. Others have said they can hear bench trash talk a little bit more clear, and it makes the dynamic between the team and the opposing bench a little different. So just from your perspective, what's the biggest difference from a communication standpoint with no fans in the arenas now?
With the play-in situation, it's a tough one. If you ask anybody older that's been in the league for 7+ years, they're going to want to stick with the old fashioned way, but everybody else is going to want to be progressive. So it's like, how do you balance what everybody wants? How do you keep the traditional basketball sense still intact? So it's kind of just a push and pull about what do you want to do. Me personally, I'm fine either way. At the end of the day, having the 9th seed, having to win 2 games, but either way I can go with. And with the fans not being in the arena, they still have, like you guys hear on TV, the fake fan noises. We still have a little bit of that. That's kind of comforting in a nonsensical way. But yeah, everything else, you can hear a lot more of what everybody is saying. You can hear the teammates bench. You can look at our Orlando game. That's an amazing example of how much you can hear us a lot more. So it really just ups everything, even ups the intensity.
And last question, Alex.
Hey, Jared, one I want to ask you, just Toronto changes their defensive coverages so many times during the game. Just how tough is that to prepare for? And are they kind of in their own category in that sense of how often they do that compared to the other teams you have faced this year?
They do switch up their defense a lot. We have to be ready for that. And in terms of preparation, it's just more time watching film, more time studying what they do, and just knowing what to do and the right thing to do in every single situation. And it's tough to keep doing the right thing when you're thinking they're doing another. So that's just a huge benefit to them. In terms of all the other teams, no, I don't see people do it as much as them. I think I'm going to get a better sense of how they do it going forward, too.